Explosions rip through the Ukrainian front lines, a landscape scarred by relentless conflict. Amidst the chaos, Ukrainian soldiers stand firm, their expressions hardened by the brutal war of attrition. On the opposing side, Russian forces mirror their resolve, their faces reflecting the same grim determination. The earth trembles under the weight of constant artillery fire, a testament to the unyielding intensity of the battle. Each soldier, Ukrainian and Russian, fights on, their faces etched with the harsh realities of war. Inside the Kremlin, tension fills the air as high-level Russian officials gather around a long, polished table. Papers litter the table, each document a silent testament to the gravity of the situation in Ukraine. A hawkish general's voice cuts through the silence. We must expand the conflict. A decisive victory is the only language they understand. A cautious advisor counters with measured words. Expanding the conflict risks provoking NATO. We must tread carefully. Along the tense border, Hezbollah militants unleash a barrage of rockets into Israel, igniting a swift and fierce response. The air crackles with the echoes of explosions as Israeli forces retaliate, sending airstrikes screaming across the divide. The conflict escalates, a symphony of destruction and despair echoing through the valleys and hills. The land bears witness to the relentless exchange, each strike deepening the scars of an unending feud. Inside the Pentagon war room, the atmosphere crackles with anticipation. Faces glow with the harsh light of real-time data, reflecting the escalating crisis in the Middle East. Tension mounts as military leaders huddle, their expressions grim. A heated debate erupts, the weight of intervention against Iran heavy in the air. The potential risks and consequences hang heavy as they debate. In the Taiwan Strait, Chinese naval vessels assemble a formidable blockade, casting a shadow of tension across the waters. U.S. warships stand in silent opposition, their presence a stark challenge amidst the encroaching waves. A U.S. Navy captain squints, his jaw tight, as the tension mounts with each passing moment. Chinese jets scream overhead, their shadows momentarily engulfing the U.S. Navy ship in a chilling display of power. The captain's gaze hardens as he watches the jets disappear into the horizon, the weight of responsibility etched on his face. The silent standoff continues, the fate of nations hanging in the balance above the restless sea. Inside the Situation Room, maps of global conflict zones blaze on massive screens, casting long shadows across the faces of the assembled team. The president's weary eyes reflect the weight of leadership, a silent acknowledgement of the impending global crisis. Among the open briefcases and scattered documents, the national security team gathers, their faces etched with grim determination. The president's voice cuts through the tense silence. I am concerned about the potential for a global war. The control room pulses with frenetic energy, a chaotic ballet of flashing lights and blaring alarms. Screens flicker ominously, each dying light a harbinger of the impending darkness. Cyber attackers have breached the fortress of technology, unleashing a digital tempest. Chaos erupts as the city outside succumbs to the encroaching night. One by one, the power grids fall, plunging the world into an abyss of shadows. The stock exchange hums with frenetic energy, a storm of flashing red screens and desperate cries. Stock prices plummet, each tick of the screen a hammer blow to fragile hopes. The floor transforms into a chaotic ocean of discarded dreams and broken futures. Desperate gestures punctuate the air, silent pleas in a world turned upside down. Global tensions shatter the market's confidence, leaving behind a wasteland of despair. Under the unforgiving sun, a sea of makeshift tents stretches endlessly, a stark testament to a world torn apart by relentless conflict. The refugee camp sprawls, a tapestry of tattered fabrics clinging to life amidst the desolation. Each huddle tells a story of loss and resilience as families cling to each other, carving out a fragile existence in the harsh landscape. The air hangs heavy with the weight of their struggles, a palpable reminder of the human cost of displacement and despair. Inside the United Nations headquarters, world leaders gather, their faces etched with the weight of global conflict. Tension permeates the air as the leaders attempt to negotiate a ceasefire, each word measured and fraught with unspoken implications. Frustration mounts as deep divisions surface, their expressions hardening with resolve. Heated exchanges erupt, the room vibrating with the echoes of discord. Despite the impassioned pleas, the chasm between them seems insurmountable. The fate of nations hangs in the balance as they continue their struggle. Under the cloak of night, Russian forces aggressively penetrate NATO territory, their advance a brutal violation of peace. The alliance retaliates with swift and decisive force, meeting the invaders head-on in a cataclysmic confrontation. Explosions erupt across the battlefield, transforming the darkness into a canvas of fire and destruction. The night reverberates with the deafening roar of engines and the earth-shattering thunder of artillery as the war escalates. Under the unforgiving sun, missiles streak across the sky, leaving trails of smoke and destruction. Key infrastructures are engulfed in flames as the devastating missile strikes hit their marks. Amidst the chaos, civilians are running through the streets, their faces etched with fear and desperation. The cries of the wounded echo through the rubble, a haunting reminder of the human cost of conflict. In the aftermath, smoke billows, painting the sky in shades of gray and orange, as the region descends further into turmoil. On the vast expanse of the Pacific, U.S. and Chinese naval forces collide in a fierce confrontation. Warships engage in a deadly dance, each maneuver a calculated risk in the escalating conflict. Aircraft carriers pivot and weave, massive symbols of power vying for strategic advantage. The ocean churns with the echoes of thunderous explosions, the fate of nations hanging in the balance. Deep within the nuclear bunker, fluorescent lights cast a pallid glow over cold steel walls, underscoring the gravity of the situation. The world leader stands before a bank of monitors, each screen ablaze with chaotic scenes, the harbingers of global catastrophe. Red lights blink with relentless urgency, painting the room in hues of impending doom as the air crackles with unbearable tension. His hand trembles above the red button, the ultimate symbol of power and destruction, as the fate of the world hangs precariously in the balance. In this moment of stark reckoning, a single decision will determine whether humanity rises or falls. In the heart of the CNN news studio, a polished desk becomes the stage for unfolding global turmoil. The anchor's grave expression mirrors the grim reality of escalating global conflict. Behind the anchor, a large screen flashes images of distant battlefields and displaced civilians, painting a stark portrait of human suffering. Producers and technicians monitor the broadcast with focused intensity, their silence amplifying the gravity of the unfolding crisis. The world watches in horror as the anchor continues to paint a grim picture of the future. In the subdued Oval Office, the president bears the crushing weight of global responsibility. His weary face, marked by sleepless nights, reveals the immense pressure he is under. He pores over documents, his brow furrowed in deep concentration, grappling with a momentous decision. The fate of the world balances precariously, resting solely on his shoulders. He must carefully weigh the perilous risks of escalating tensions. His solemn duty is to safeguard the nation's interests.